Hey everybody, welcome back to Bimbo Mentality, a podcast about arts and culture and learning about neat things from cool people. My name is Bug, and I am joined as ever by my gorgeous co-host Emma. How are you tonight, Emma?
Uh, Doing okay. Just a million and one things tonight, so I'm in flustered mode right now. And I also can't have my customary glass of wine with me right now, so I'm frustrated about that too. But
That will change the dynamic, but I think we all will persevere. I think we'll be okay. Over in the production booth is our resident bimbo wrangler, Lilith. How are you tonight, Lilith?
I'm doing good. Yeah, we'll find a way to make up for that dynamic, Emma. I believe in us.
I do too.
We will make it work. We've done it before and we'll do it again.
Yeah.
And joining us on the podcast this week is our guest, Eri Lucia Kapling. Eri is a poet, dear, reluctant bartender, and community organizer in Chicago, Illinois. Eri began community organizing with the IWW, where it served as secretary of the Greater Chicago branch, in addition to serving on numerous national and international committees. Eri has spent the last few years organizing events for Chicago's trans community, ranging from social events to arts showcases, and is currently one of the organizing committee members for Bloomtown, an inaugural trans music festival taking place in Chicago in June 2026. Welcome to the podcast, Eri. Happy to have you here.
Hi, great to be here. Oh my gosh.
How are you doing tonight? This is got to be an exciting time preparing for Bloomtown.
Yeah, my blood pressure is just kind of generally at a point where there's like a low level hum that I feel moving through my veins at all times. Which is a really cool sensation that I definitely should not talk to my doctor about.
Yeah, is that not like just normal?
I mean, it's kind of where I'm at when I'm on my third or fourth can of Diet Coke. I'm on number
Yeah.
7. We're doing great.
I found out recently from some of the reactions that I've gotten from friends that 8 to 10 cups of coffee a day is not like normal.
Bug.
Says who?
Thank you, Eri. I really like coffee.
Yeah, I don't, but I'm not going to take that away from you.
Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about Bloomtown. Tell us a little about how this project came together.
Gosh, okay. So I had organized a genderfuck variety hour in Chicago in early October. And I was walking out of that afterwards to go get some dinner with some friends. And I remember we were walking to go get ramen. And I was like, all right, I am exhausted. I am fried. I'm totally shot, and I can't take on any additional creative projects right now. I'm going to take the next 1 to 3 months and not work on any new books, no new zines, no new events, nothing that is going to go on. And I'm just going to enjoy my life for a little bit. It was about 9:30, 10 p.m. on a Friday night. And at 12:30 p.m. the next day, so what's that, 14 hours later, I remember messaging a group chat I was in. I was like, hey, what if we planned a music festival? And so this is just kind of I can't not be planning something, I think is what I've realized, is I'm hopelessly addicted to the grind of putting something together. I don't know. The idea for this kind of came out of something that happens adjacent to my bartending job. There is a big for Pride Month. There's a big lesbian specific event that happens really immediately adjacent to the bar that I work at. And I was kind of thinking and ruminating on the fact that there is no trans equivalent for that really anywhere in the US that I can think of, anywhere. For Pride Month, we don't have a central thing to go do as a a cool thing to go and rally at. And so that was kind of the impetus or the inspiration for making something like this happen.
And did you kind of have like acts ready to go for it? Like, had you kind of accumulated those kinds of? I mean, I assume from the fact that you've been doing this work, you'd accumulated those kind of connections. Did you like? Was that one of the harder parts, or was that kind of one of the easier parts of planning this?
I think one of the first things was actually just like starting to like strike names off a list. Like we wanted like so the first thing was kind of like in that vein of like that conversation at like 12:30 the day after the art showcase was me realizing like I cannot do this all by myself. And so I immediately was like reaching out to some people and being like, tentatively, if I was going to be trying to put together a team on this, would you be interested in being on a team? Like, I think that you have a very unique niche skill set that would help with this aspect of it. I think that you have a really good like lens that's going to help with that aspect of it. And so I had people in mind for like a lot of the different like slices of the pie, so to speak. But it became really, really clear early on that like I didn't want this to be. It was very important to me that this not be like a hyper pop music festival, and that this not be like specifically a trans femme music festival. And that meant like expanding beyond the areas where like I'm literally sitting here wearing an underscores t-shirt right now. Like I listen to a lot of hyper pop. And
Wall Socket, great album, by the way.
yeah, it's a fucking amazing album. It's so great. Like a lot of the contacts and connections that I have are in the trans feminine community in Chicago. So like reaching out to people and being like, yo, like we need to get some trans men involved on this. We need to get some non-binary people involved on this. We need some people who, don't just listen to hyperpop music. But like it then became a like we need to expand beyond like where my knowledge base initially was. But then it was like, yeah, we have a lot of ideas for people that we want to talk to, and a lot of like people that we know are going to be yeses the moment that we start talking to them. And it's been like as we've started to talk to some artists, it's been like immediate enthusiastic yeses, which has been really cool and really exciting.
It's kind of funny that like there's this cliche of like trans women only making and being into hyperpop. Because let me tell you, as a trans woman who goes to a lot of punk shows where trans women are making punk music, I also get called a dork a lot for listening to hyperpop music. So two sides of every coin, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely get a lot of like, yeah, of course you're into that. There's also a lot of like, are haven't you like grown out of that? And it's like, I mean, haven't I grown out of that? Like this is fun. It's fun. I like to dance.
This was a good year for hyperpop, by the way.
There's been some really good music. There's been some really good shows. Yeah, the last 12 months has had some real banging drops.
Anyway, that's just our first sidetrack of the evening. Did you have it? Did you end up having an easy time kind of getting a broad range of artists, or were there kind of these clusters of like, okay, you have a few hyperpop artists, and then you have sort of scattered other?
So we're still definitely in the early stages of like signing and approaching artists and getting the roster filled out. The main thing, the big hurdle, the biggest hurdle has been like administrative things, which is like where my background as a community organizer has kind of been a real boon. Things like, getting 501c3 status with the IRS, because people aren't going to give us money unless it's tax deductible. And it costs a lot of money to put on a music festival, it turns out. And like, it would be cool if we could just hit up a whole bunch of people and be like, hey, can you all collectively give us the money for this? But there's only so much money that we in the trans community have. famously wealthy and large financial endowments. I had to put a prefix onto there. Financial endowment, trans community.
10 minutes in, we're already talking about tits.
Yeah, like you mentioned the administrative side, and like I heard that like even just like deciding on where to have it factors in like, okay, apparently I didn't know this until a couple weeks ago that Chicago like doesn't own a lot of its own parking spots, and like you have to get like a separate permit if you want to like do a block party versus a like park or something.
Yeah.
Like, what is that about?
Okay. So this is a fun Chicago thing. Gosh, how many mayors ago is this? How many mayors ago was Emperor 2? Four mayors ago, we had Emperor Richard Daley II. And one of his parting gifts to the city after his, I don't know, like borderline 20, maybe 20 plus years in the mayor's office was he sold the rights to the street parking for the entire city to an investment firm that I believe is primarily owned by the United Arab Emirates. They got a large upfront chunk of change, which helped him balance the books and pay out some nice bribes to a bunch of his longtime political buddies on his way out the door. And in exchange for that, I believe the city gave up its parking meters for, I want to say, 75 years. The people that we sold that to have broken even on their investment as of, I want to say, a year or two ago. And I believe there's still 50 years to go left on this lease. Every time that the city wants to, or somebody through the city wants to block off a paid parking space, the city has to reimburse said investment company for like per car's worth of parking space per hour that it is blocked off. It's a very serious city that we have.
I would like to be clear and state this on the record that Bimbo Mentality is an anti-capitalist podcast.
Yeah,
I don't need to know a lot about all those details, and I don't need to pretend that I understood all of them to know that that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I can't say the things that I wish would happen to Emperor Daley. But then he also did destroy an airport for fun. So who's to say if he was actually bad?
What? Could you elaborate on that?
We're getting into deep Chicago lore here.
Welcome to Bimbo Mentality, a podcast where we talk about Chicago.
That's kind of my thing. I'm kind of always hyping up Chicago. Did you ever play Microsoft Flight Simulator back in the day?
Yes.
A little bit, actually, I think. Or wait, was it a different flight simulator? Doesn't matter. It was a flight simulator.
The default airport that it would like load you into when you were opening the game, every Microsoft Flight Simulator up until like the recent one that came out like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, all of the old ones from like the 90s and maybe early 2000s, you would start off at an airport that was like on an island right next to downtown Chicago. Do you remember that?
Oh gosh, I played like one of the one that was like with Windows 95, so I don't think so.
Yeah, that would have been this. Like the default airport, when you went to go load up that game, it would drop you in like a Cessna 172 on a little runway on an island right next to downtown Chicago. That was a real airport that existed. It's no longer there. That's because said bad mayor one day decided that he was going to bulldoze it, and so he just bulldozed it in the middle of the night.
Were there any gains from that, or did he just hate that airport in particular?
He'd been trying to get it closed for a while, and he kept like fighting with the FAA about it, and a couple of state senators, and then it got closed. Apparently, it is still like there are people who were like that was a bad thing. It was not a bad thing. Like we did not. It was a bad airport. It only served rich like billionaire class private jets and tiny little like it was not a commuter airport. It was not a normal person airport. And now it's a nice concert venue where they hold music festivals. Hey, everything comes back full circle.
That's okay. That's all good then. Bimbo Mentality. I would like this officially on the record that Bimbo Mentality is an anti-rich people podcast and a pro-music festival podcast.
Therefore, 100%. It is a pro-destroying Miggs Field podcast.
Sure.
Is wait. I forgot what I was going to say. Misfits. Classic. I had something. I'll come back to it. I'll shoehorn it in when it's not appropriate. Continue.
I have faith. We'll get there.
I hadn't thought about this going into this podcast, but it's crazy how like throwing big events costs money, huh? I didn't think of that.
I had like a very like exploratory meeting with a friend and mentor of mine who has been involved with like planning street fests and art fairs and craft fests in Chicago. And I sat down, I was like, here's the vision that I have in my head. Here are all of the things that I am foreseeing being large expenses. Tell me that I can't do this and I will drop it. And they looked at me and they're like, oh no, you totally can do this. You absolutely can do this. I was like, fuck, I was really afraid he'd say that. And then they proceeded to list off all of the things that I did not think about that was going to cost money, like renting porta potties, thousands of dollars to rent porta potties for one day. Because if we're having a music festival, people are going to need to pee.
And if I know music festivals, you need enough for a couple people to pass out in those.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, like we can just go rent a stage and like that's gonna cost like what, $1,000 or $2,000. It's like $10,000 per stage. Like $10,000 to rent a stage. And we want to have 2 of them. So that's a not insignificant chunk of change. There's a lot of financial costs that go into it. Filing to be a nonprofit, filing to get our like 501c3 status costs $600. Like you have to have money in order to not make money, like legally denoted not doing this to make money, not for our own individual profit. And that's the thing is like none of us who are on the planning committee are like doing this to like make money or like line our pockets. Like if I walk out the end of this festival having made enough money to like treat myself to a nice dinner, like then I'll be like, okay, that's cool. But that's maybe the most I'm expecting to like make out of this. Like tenths of a cent per hour in terms of pay. But yeah, that's ameliorated somewhat by like having a broad team. Sorry, I should use smaller words on the Bimbo podcast.
You could try to explain what ameliorated means.
Yeah, you could. That'd be fun.
We've
done worse tangents.
I don't think I know the formal definition of ameliorated. It's just like a word that I know vaguely the shape of emotionally, the emotional shape of it.
I just looked it up just in the dictionary. It just says to make something bad or unsatisfactory better. So that's actually a pretty fucking...
Yeah.
Your emotional definition is probably right on the fucking money.
I mean, I had the vibe. We had the vibe. Yeah. I'm just a pure vibes-based ear.
That's a big word for just to make a bad thing better. That's crazy.
I am glad we went ahead and confirmed that, though, because I feel like I like to use big words a lot, and I'll like say the big word, and then I'll like quietly Google it to see if I used it right. And I'd say probably about 75% of the time I did not.
I always get the one like the nonplussed one is always confusing because there's like a common colloquial usage. It's wrong apparently, and there's like the original, and I never remember which one's which, and I get scared and I don't use it.
I really liked like saying that I'm really plussed about something as opposed to saying non-plussed. And just be like, yeah, no, like this whole situation's got me really plussed right now. And then like watching people's like brains kind of like chew on that. And I will just not acknowledge it and move on to something else. I'm fun at parties.
I don't use it as often as I would like to, but I will sometimes describe myself as just whelmed. Like, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed. I'm just whelmed.
Yeah.
Did you do that in Europe?
Did I do that in Europe?
Sorry, that's actually a line from 10 Things I Hate About You.
Haven't seen it.
What? Oh my god,
No,
yeah. So
No.
that's literally where that comes from. Is that it was like they're walking out, these two girls are walking like at school, and one of them was like, I know you can be overwhelmed and I know you can be underwhelmed, but can you ever just be whelmed? And then her friend's like, I think you can in Europe. That's
You can in Europe.
yeah.
Okay,
Incredible.
so this was absolutely not me stealing that from a movie. This is just like parallel evolution where like girls who are kind of dumb come up with the same thing. Gonna have the
So
same
real.
questions.
So real.
I also have never been to Europe.
What if we do a music festival in Europe? Having never been there. That'd be cool.
That would probably cost a whole lot more money than you're
Probably.
already spending on this one.
Yeah.
Wait, so like
I
the
should-
first day you show up to Europe and like that's the first day of the music festival?
No, I mean I would show up like 2 or 3 days ahead of time. In order
Okay,
to
2 or
be able to
3,
make
yeah.
sure that our IT was set up properly, right? You know?
Well, yeah.
Help set up
I'm your girl for
chairs
that.
and cones.
Real. Yeah, so like one of the things at the music festival was kind of putting together this like team of people. And then I want to like shout out some of the other people who were on the team because this is not like I want to stress that this is not just like an Eri project. It very intentionally wasn't an Eri project. It is a large group effort. So we've got like and I say this and then my brain immediately shorts out, being like, who do I mention first? My friend Aria is kind of like helping with bookings and stuff. She is a musician herself. She performs under the name Least Favorite. She's helping to get us in touch with musicians, kind of figure out what our contract situation is going to look like. Our lovely friend Junie is helping us with like IT and web things.
Yay!
She is going to be helping with like day of, making sure that like ticketing and badging is going to be going okay. We've got Emily, who is like handling like volunteer trainings. Emily is like a veteran of like working festivals, working conferences, working all sorts of events like this as a volunteer at like multiple different tiers. And so like knows how to do the training, knows how to like lead teams, knows where all of like the training needs are going to be and what the volunteer needs are going to be. We've got Joe. Joe is overseeing our vendors. We want to have like an arts row for like trans makers to like come sell wearables, sell art, things like that, in addition to like the music that's going on. So Josephine is going to be coordinating all of that. Tully is kind of like overseeing grounds and installation of things on like in the space, making sure our contracts with vendors for that are signed and on the up and up. Bree is helping with like corporate sponsorship, which is great. Bree is like our most experienced person for this, and it's been a fucking lifesaver to have on this team. Like at the end of the day, I'm kind of just like the paperwork bitch, which is where I'm thriving. but I'm also like the person who has fingers in every pot and is like assisting everywhere, but never quite fully taking the lead on any one thing. I also feel like I'm forgetting somebody on the team and I'm going to be like deeply embarrassed by it. But again, I am just a dumb deer. So I can't be expected to remember everybody all the time, can I?
A deer of all trades, basically.
Yes, but and a mistress of none.
Do you have a bimbo wrangler on your team?
Oh gosh, who would that'd probably be Bree. Yeah, that'd probably be Bree.
They should have like a Tempco for bimbo wranglers.
Right?
I could quit my job. I'd just do that all day.
Exactly.
So we can't
See,
pay
like,
you in money, but we can pay you in work.
If you need like greeters or like just someone who like can be bubbly and like talk for any reason, I'm happy to participate.
Hell yeah.
I was going to say earlier, I have so little actual understanding of the process by which creative projects come together, because my tactic is just kind of like to bat my pretty eyelashes, and then people offer to do all the work for me. Love you, Lilith.
Bug, you've been doing a lot of the important work. I will say that. I like I've been getting us across the finish line, but you've gotten us to like the 85-yard line, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you. I do my best. I just have a lot of really neat friends.
Yeah.
I like that analogy because in that analogy in football, I'm just like kind of the cheerleader on the side who's like, yay!
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the bubbly personalities brought along to say hi. We just went over this. Did you forget already?
I don't know why you would have a greeter at a music festival. That was really dumb of me to even like, suggest that as an idea, but you know.
I mean, we need people who are going to bring fun energy, and like you're going to bring fun energy, but you don't have to like make that a job. You can just have fun energy. That's what you do at a music festival.
Yeah, you can just show up and be at the music festival. Like,
so real.
Big part of who makes a music festival fun is the audience. All of which is to say, and we're jumping the gun a little bit, because this is something I could absolutely end the podcast with too, but I'll say it here. People should go to this.
Yes.
I think so. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm like in a constant tug of war between like, okay, this is year one. Like, let's manage our expectations. And also like everything seems to be coming together really well so far. And like we're still in the planning stage. We're in the fundraising stage. We're in the negotiating contract stage. We're not really at the like selling tickets stage yet. That's like one of the last bits. But like it's gonna be pretty cool. Like I'm really excited for this. And the sad part is I don't know how much of the fest I'm actually going to get to enjoy. I think I'm going to be too stressed and busy the day of. But that's okay, because I will catch bits and pieces of it while I'm running from fire to fire to put out, so that everybody else can have a really good time. That's what I do.
It's like when every wedding I go to, it's like the couple never like gets to really like partake in a lot of things. Sometimes they're like doing their rounds and making sure, you know. So yeah,
I had a COVID wedding, and that was true at my COVID wedding that had 8 guests.
Oh my god.
Wow. There's a joy in that, though. I think there's such a joy in like creating and curating those spaces and seeing something you created come together in that way. I won't get into this too much, but it's something I've thought a lot about as a future interest and future endeavor. It seems very satisfying, but it's also like it's a whole different way of engaging with art and engaging with community and engaging with the people you know. I mean, that's something I've been learning from doing this podcast, is just getting to really appreciate that the people in your life and the people in your community are interesting people making cool things, and that deserves to be celebrated and to be part of getting the opportunity to celebrate that and give them a moment and to shine. I think that's really cool and really neat and really beautiful. And I really commend all of the hard work y'all are putting together to do this, because things like this should exist.
Yeah.
For real.
Thank you.
Like, yeah, like you mentioned at the top of the call, like, I think there's so few things that are like focused on our community. We're always kind of like ancillary to like the larger like queer scene sometimes, and I think that like that's really important. And now more than ever, I like, we really need that community. So I think it's really awesome, and I will for sure fucking be there next year. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun.
I will do everything in my power to get there.
We will make it happen. We have couches for you, Bug. We'll put you on a couch somewhere. As a trans woman, as a trans community organizer, we're constantly like having to ask permission from other queer spaces for us to be there, for us to do our events there. We don't have permanent dedicated trans spaces. We don't have trans bars. We don't have, trans bookstores. We don't have trans, cruising events, to go something that's on my mind recently because of some discourse. We have spaces that are, ostensibly generally queer, but more often than not, like lesbian bars or bars that are, primarily built for gay men, that we have to go to them and be like, hey, can we use this space? Are you okay with us using this space? And a lot of times they come out and they're like, yeah, second Tuesday of the month is our slowest, so you can have the second Tuesday. I'm tired of asking for permission for that shit. Like, we should have our own shit. Fuck this, like, taking what they'll give us at the edges. But the flip side of that is also just, like, we have to just do it. Like, the reason why this exists, the reason why all this happened is because I was like, a bunch of us together were like, wouldn't this be cool? And then now we're doing it. Like, none of us have made a music festival before. But we're going to do it. And we are actively doing it. And it's because we just decided to do it. So, like, anybody can do this. You don't go to, like, school to learn how to plan a music festival. I'm sure that there's actually a place that does that. I'm going to say that. And somebody's be like, Full Sail College offers a degree in making video games and running music festivals.
Well, you know what? I bet they're bad at it, quite frankly, because I think that, like, I've seen the professionals with lots of access, some of the music festivals they make, and they suck and they're bad.
The one thought that's in the back of my head is like, as long as this doesn't end up as Tranny Fire Festival, this will be a success.
There's no way.
Here's what I'm gonna say about that. If I don't think it's going to be Tranny Fire Festival. I don't want it to be Tranny Fire Festival. But if it is, we reserve the right to license this very podcast out to both Netflix and Hulu when they make competing documentaries about it.
Okay. I'll allow that. I just like when there's a dramatization of it. Can I be played by Evan Rachel Wood?
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah,
Hell
right?
Yeah.
In both documentaries, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She looks nothing like me, but like, fuck it, let's roll.
Right.
I love it.
I want to be played by, like, not that I'm involved in this at all, but if I were to appear in this, I'd want to be played by, like, Wallace Shawn. It's like
Holy shit.
just like some aging character actor who's sort of a weird little guy, fully committed to the part of playing a pretty bimbo in their 30s.
Yeah.
Hell
know,
yes.
I support. I'm a big fan of trans women playing cis characters. So Hunter Schafer would play me in this scenario too. So that'd be
There
pretty
you go.
great.
Real.
Sure.
Oh goodness.
I wanna say, by the way, for the record, that I think Tranny Fire Festival would be a lot more fun than Cis People Fire Festival, because
100%.
we make our own fun. We make do. We will find a way to make that a fun experience. We don't need much.
I don't remember who I was talking to about this. Like that exact same point was brought up in a recent conversation where I was like, if there were a whole bunch of trannies at Fire Festival would have just would have still happened. It would have just been done with like laptop speakers, because there would have been enough people there who would have been like, fuck it. You know, I'm whipping out FL Studio and I'm gonna play this weird synth noise project I've been working on, and then we would get down with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how many
true.
weird synth noise project performances I have heard just like the morning after a hookup?
How many? I need an exact counting right now.
Oh god. It's probably when I actually describe it, it's probably not going to be that that impressive a number, but it's like at least 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That's a decent number of nickels.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a guy nickel. Well, it's not many, but it's still more than you'd expect.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're totally right. Trading Fire Festival would have gone hard because, look, as awful as that article is, the Vice guide to partying was correct. Okay, and that the
Vice guide to partying
we bring the party.
For the 3 cis people who listen to this podcast, go read the Vice Guide for Partying. You'll understand the trans women in your life a lot more than you currently
honestly,
do.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's so true. And also,
I would
the
like
food
to-
that they were handing out at Fire Festival when everybody was stuck on that island. Like, that's a lot of autistic girls like safe foods. Like,
Oh my god, you're right. It was just like a grilled cheese or something.
It's what I have for lunch most days. Yeah,
right. It's a safe food.
that and a cup of coffee.
It was a grilled cheese that wasn't even grilled. It was just a slice of cheese on white bread.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to deal with those texture problems that way.
Oh my god.
The white
That's
bread doesn't
amazing.
have like extra seeds on the outside. Like, it's texturally safe.
I would like to, while we're talking about music festivals, I would like to sort of float a hypothesis that I think needs discussed. I'm sort of convinced that at least for the last, the duration of my adult life, so 13 years, give or take, that nobody has actually enjoyed Coachella. And my reasoning for this is that despite it being like the most popular music festival, I have never heard anyone say, you know what I did this summer? You know what I did that was really fun? I went to Coachella.
You don't know anyone who has like oil baron money. That's why you haven't heard that.
Exactly. And people with oil baron money aren't capable of having fun. They just go to Instagram about it.
It's like a place that you go to be seen.
Mhm.
And I don't need to be seen by that many people.
Emma, do you disagree with us? You're shaking your head a little.
I'm just gonna say the lineup is usually really good. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I get that. I do.
I'm sure people have fun at individual performances for each of those artists. But a music festival, if you're doing it right, requires you to like get a little dirty and be a little adaptable. And rich people can't do that.
No. Like you have to bring a certain type of energy to the space. It's why I've never gone to Lollapalooza, despite like spending all but 5 years of my life in Chicago or its immediate vicinity. I've had so many opportunities to go to Lollapalooza, and I don't know. Like there have been great bands. I almost went to Lollapalooza 2 years ago to see one band, a J-pop band that did a theme song for an anime that I really liked, and I was willing to do it because they were playing opposite like the big headliner. So there was going to be like only 80 people at the stage, and it was going to be the people who really wanted to go to this obscure like J-pop group. And I was going to be like, yeah, like we're going to have a great time while everybody else is off going and seeing the Killers. We're going to all be like rocking out to like music that we don't actually know the words to, but has a good beat. And then I didn't because I cut my balls off the day before the show.
Not where I expected that to go. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was a twist. I feel like nothing against the Killers. I'm sure they're fine boys. Still, just sort of ontologically feels like a weak headliner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they were never they have that one song everybody
They had
knows,
some
but they were
hits.
never like the biggest stars in the world.
No.
No, but that one song that kind of sounds gender, where it's like somebody told
Yeah.
me that you had a boyfriend who looked like a girlfriend. And I was like, real.
Yeah.
Relatable content.
Well, I would know nothing about that.
Yep. Have never had that happen before. If y'all were booking, I'm stealing your podcast to ask you a question now.
Sure, go for it. This is exciting, actually.
If you were planning a music festival, who would you like try and like? Who would be your like dream headlining act?
Okay, wait, like just any.
I promise
any,
you, I can't. Like, I promise you that we can't afford them for this festival. But I'm curious, like, who would you book as your headliners for your?
but like any act, not just trans act, like any act.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're talking about
I
like
gotta answer the
famous
question.
people right now.
Okay. Ooh. Bug, go first.
Yeah, I mean it's funny. My 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 real honest answer is that I would stack the lineup entirely with like my friends and local acts whose music I really like, because I basically don't listen to anything anymore except for like bands from the New York City punk scene and or like underground hyperpop artists. Basically, I only listen to artists like whose I follow on Bandcamp. So my real answer, I think, is that I would, or that's my real answer. But my real answer is that I would announce that the headliner is like some ginormous pop artist, I don't know, Billie Eilish or somebody, and then at the last minute I would announce that Billie Eilish has canceled and has been replaced by like some 70s lounge act that nobody likes. The guy who did the Pina Colada song or some shit.
Wow.
I would just ruin everybody's time deliberately and with foreknowledge.
Just rolling out a hologram of Jimmy Buffett in place of like
Yeah.
Billie Eilish.
Jimmy Buffett, I've said this in real life. Some of my real life friends will know I am repeating myself, but I want this on record on the podcast. I bet that Jimmy Buffett is living it up in purgatory right now. That is a man who will appreciate the finer points of purgatory. That's a man who
Yeah.
can sit on a gloomy beach on a chilly day with a margarita that was not made properly and could just be like, you know what, this is all right.
Yeah,
It's too
I
much
could see
triple
that.
sec.
I could see that.
Yeah.
My answer would be my like kind of music is very like synthy, vibey, indie tronica. So like there's a band
Wow,
called
no way.
Cannons. There's a band called Cannons that I'm obsessed with, but they'd be up there. But like if it was a DJ, and you wanted like an awesome party, and like he's like one of my favorite DJs, Fred again would definitely be, but he'd be impossible probably. He does like he's
That'd be
currently doing a
fucking
tour.
wild, though.
Yeah, he's currently doing a tour where he only announces like even the cities he's going to and the show like days before he shows up. So it's like very much it's like oh it's really cool. Anyways, that's probably who I would choose.
It's very much like a this is happening right now. Get your asses to the club sort of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. He's yeah. Or Marina, the pop star, who I've seen a lot. I love her and I'm obsessed with her. And
Yeah,
that's
that's the
also-
headliner there.
I don't
That's a
know.
headline pick.
Oh, Marina.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Formerly
I'm
formerly
back.
Marina and the Diamonds. Yeah.
Yes, I'm with it now. I wasn't with it. I didn't know what it was. Now I am with it. It is with me. I would want to do a hologram of an artist who is still alive. I think that is if I was just
Oh my
doing
God.
That's so good.
I was doing the quintessential Eri thing, I would be I don't know. Here's a hologram of Davey Havoc from AFI. Davey Havoc
There you
is
go.
alive, but
Yeah.
I'm putting just a hologram of Davey Havoc, not the rest of AFI.
And would it be Davey Havoc circa 2003? You base the hologram off of peak Davey Havoc?
I mean, if it's me, I'm doing it based off of the 1996 Timberlane's
There you go.
Concert in Chicago.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
yeah.
because I'm a Chicago bitch. And also
Uh-huh.
because that's peak AFI.
Right.
Should just get all of the guys from the Killers who are not the frontman, and then a hologram of the frontman with his voice sounding even more like an old-timey radio than it already does for some reason.
I love that.
Oh, that'd be great.
Holographic Tom DeLonge, and he doesn't sing, he just talks about his alien conspiracies.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh, holograms. Holograms are cool. I don't know how they work.
You'll have to get somebody to come on and explain holograms.
I'll look forward to that episode.
Yeah. If you are an expert in holograms, you can DM us on our Blue Sky or Instagram, or send me an email at prettybug@proton.me.
Seriously, any hologramographers out there, let us know.
Also, if you are an expert in anything else and want to come on the show, you can also do those things I just said. This has been kind of a weirdly shaped episode because we were, obviously talking a whole lot about the current project you're working on, but I think that it is important for us, nevertheless, to keep on format. So, Emma, what have you learned today?
I learned, I think a lot more of the particulars of all that goes into creating an experience and for a community from scratch, and it's really impressive. And I can't wait to see what comes of it.
I learned that there was a mayor of Chicago who made some really crappy decisions, and then also made one really good decision, bulldozing a shitty airport. I learned that there's going to be a really sick tour where holograms of Tom DeLonge and the guy from The Killers do kind of a collaboration. And I learned that Tranny Fire Festival would fucking go hard, although I think I already knew that in my heart of hearts.
So real.
And I think that I learned a lot about how much it matters to be willing to really put yourself out there and just sort of hit the ground running to make cool things happen and to create these spaces for our community and to give our community these opportunities to express itself, to really showcase all of the great creativity and talent and passion that exists in the trans community, and to know that you don't have to be an expert in things. You don't have to really have a perfect understanding of how you're going to do something, to just jump in and do it because you're passionate about it and you care about it, and you will figure it out as you go. And that's Bimbo mentality, baby.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Eri, I know we've been talking a whole lot about one of your projects, but do you have anything about Bloomtown that you want to plug in addition to what we've talked about, or do you have anything else you're working on that you want plugged?
Yeah. Okay, so you can find our website, bloomtown.lgbt, where there will be a place for you to sign up for a email mailing list to be kept abreast when we are announcing lineup, when tickets are going on sale. The festival itself is going to be the first weekend in June 2026 in Chicago, Illinois. We're targeting one day. It's almost certainly going to be Saturday, June 6th. I don't think that for our first year, we're going to try and do 2 days. Just going to keep it to one day. But we're kicking off Pride Month. We're saying, trannies on top, everybody else can come afterwards. Because it's about time that we have some tranny tops in the community, right?
Oh my god.
I realized what I was saying, and I was like, I had to make the joke. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You know what podcast you're on.
The shortage is over. The shortage is over.
Welcome to our podcast, Bottom Mentality.
Oh no. Yeah. Other stuff. I write. I write zines. I write poetry. All of my stuff is available on my website, Dear Ears. That's DEEREA.rs. I recently put out a chapbook of poetry called Marrow. I'm very proud of it. It's very nice. It is very gay. I have a lot of zines. Probably like the most well-known one out of that is This Dish Cannot Be Found, which is all about food you cannot eat, which started off about my obsession with AI-generated recipe preview images, and then ended up being about cannibalism kinks. It's a fun journey. It's really good.
All right, well, sometime we're going to have you back on to talk about that, because I already could go off on a whole other episode about that.
Yeah, both aspects of that are things I can talk about at length. And you can find me on Blue Sky at that same handle, at Dear Ears. And if you're in Chicago, come find me at Dolls Night. Come find me at any of the trans community events around the city. I will be the girl with the deer ears, because I'm always wearing my deer ears. That's my thing. But yeah, I'll be around.
Yay. Well, that's going to do it for us this week on Bimbo Mentality. Our intro-outro music is Runners by Sophie Anwar. Catch us next week when we roll up to the club.
Woo!
Death of you.